And this is what spiritual schools are. They are oases in this desert of life. And those oases, this is where the Christ force, or this living light force, this water from this mountain, is surfacing, or it is beneath the sand. And in those oases, in those spiritual schools, there it is surfacing so that seekers can quench their thirst from it. But until we are ready to actually start seeking, we will not even notice that this water of the living Christ is already beneath the sand of the desert. Only when we start seeking for it. So also, when we start seeking, then we will find guidance or answers in the way of that we will find maybe a spiritual school or a teaching that helps us further on our path. And what does how come that it's for some people this most important thing in life, while for others not? This has to do with we would call it, or could call it, the maturity of life experiences. If through many incarnations the soul has accumulated so many experiences about this rise, shine, and fade of life, about the desert of life, that at one point the soul realizes, I can't find the answers in the desert sand, then the soul, or the human being with this mature soul, will start to seek and start to find an oasis, or these oases, like the spiritual schools, where the cosmic Christ force, or will be able, or where the seeker will be able to connect to it and be nourished by it on the path. But until then, until this happens, life is just lived in the usual way. And kind of we are being occupied by all the big and small problems and challenges life throws at us, and it just keeps us so busy and occupied, but we are not really looking for anything else until this inner maturity, this overload of experiences happens. Until then, we are more like the Bedouins. They are crossing the desert, they are kind of doing their thing, pursuing their lives. And this is like here, the Bedouins, they they symbolize the majority of humanity. That there is not yet any particular thirst for the Spirit, for the Christ Spirit. And this is entirely all right, because as I said, the soul needs to mature, the soul needs to make all these experiences, and in whichever way there is a value to them. So, but for those who are thirsty and have this inner longing, an oasis is not only an optional stop, it is an imperative, it is paramount. They really need it. There is something within us that just does not let us rest. It drives us onward to find this oasis, this other Christ force. So in the desert, the absence of water is death, we would say. And so this is similar, we could imagine it for if this inner seeking drives it, the soul thirsting for truth. It's almost like feeling an inner despair, because there is no meaning, no sense in this life without this something we do not know where to find. And this is where spiritual schools come in to offer us this living water, this sustenance for this inner divine aspect we have within us.